those biases that you have built in as a sports fan through the years and decades of watching sports and just being a casual fan, you got to let go of that shit because it's going to kill your gains. I've been sports betting since high school, but I've actually been a successful, profitable sports bettor for the last 3 years. And so I'm here just to give you some brutally honest advice through my experience and just to be able to help guide you along the way in your sports betting journey. So, like the first thing off the top is sports betting's hard. I know that I couldn't do it without some type of software. And it took me a long time to figure out what that software was, or that there was even a software available to me. But growing up, I knew I couldn't make money sports betting. I desperately tried and wanted to, but after about failing 35 times, I realized that I'm not smart enough. And so I just stepped away and I didn't do it. It wasn't until I moved to Arizona in 2021 when I discovered OddsJam on YouTube and Alex Monahan's videos that I realized that I could do it. But even with a software that's helping me, showing me the plays, sports betting's still difficult. It depends on your taste of risk. If you just want to solely arbitrage bet, or if you want to dabble into positive expected value betting or different types of betting, it can be difficult, but it's tough on its own. So without any type of software, I can't do sports betting. I would literally, this YouTube channel would be done. I'd be see ya, adios. So the key though here is that even now when I have a software that helps me and a tool that helps find me these plays, you just can't be lazy. You can't be lazy. And everybody has this, and I understand it. It's a greedy, it's a get rich quick scheme, because all you see on X and on social media is just green slips after green slips. And that's not how it goes. That's not how the ride goes. You're going to have losing days with this. But a lot of people just want to try to get their money and get in and get out. And if you want to be a profitable sports bettor, it's more of a grind. It really is. You really have to love this to do this day in and day out to make money. You're not just going to put together some 10-leg parlay and cash. So naturally, because this is just like anything else in life, it's a grind, it's hard. That kind of leads to the second point, which is then people look for touts. People look for, well, hey, listen, I know I'm not smart enough. I can't make money sports betting. Let me pay someone else. Ooh, they have a model. Okay, this looks pretty good. But the problem is 95% of touts are dog shit. They are. And they don't make money sports betting. They make money off of you paying them for their services and their picks. And so the problem is there are some touts out there, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I don't want to throw a blanket statement on all touts. There are some touts out there that probably are really solid, that have a good model, and that you can make money with them. But the problem for you and me is that it's a massive experiment of trial and error. And so your head's not going to be able to take it. You're going to go insane. You're going to go see the doc and they're going to look at you and be like, dude, you just shaved 10 years off your life. And then your wallet is going to be considerably lighter because you're going to go in this, well, I'll try this guy out for a couple days or a week. You know what? He's not working. You got to pay them for their fee. And then we'll try this guy out and we'll try this guy out. And the next thing you know, within the course of a month, you've went through 11 touts and you're in the red, you're not making money. Or, well, this guy had a day or two where it went well. It's just a massive headache. So then naturally, the next recipe, the next thing that we lead you to is, well, let's go to a software, right? The software, OddsJam. I love OddsJam. They are my Bible for sports betting. And then you get people, and this is going to happen when they're gonna be like, well, bro, this is my bro voice. Well, bro, you're going to get limited. You're going to get limited by these sports books. You're going to be reduced to pennies. They're not going to let you wager anything. And so there's two guaranteed ways that I know that you won't get limited by the sports books. There's a third one that I have a theory on, just talking to people in the industry, doing my own research. I have a third theory. So here's the first two surefire ways that you won't get limited by the sports books. Number one, don't gamble. Plain simple. Pretty simple. Don't do it. Number two is lose all your bets. If you don't gamble or if you lose all your bets, I promise you 100% Billy C stamp of approval guarantee you won't get limited. Now the third one is if you're a data scientist. This is more theory based here for me. If you're a data scientist or if you're friends with someone who's a data scientist that creates a model that works really well, that wins at over 54, 55% of the time, placing bets at -110 odds, because in order to break even, we got to be above that 52, 53% range in order to have a profit. And then that model is a consistent winner and pumps out winners on mainline plays like the NFL, the NBA, but it doesn't beat the closing line value. That's the unicorn that does exist. It does. But the problem is it's going to be really difficult to find those people because those people aren't on Twitter talking about their massive wins because that's how they give away their edge, right? So I'm not saying people out there that are selling their models doesn't work, but if it worked so damn well, then they probably wouldn't be selling it to you. They would just have a close knit of people that have a lot of money and then they would just go bankrupt the sports books. That's my opinion. That's my theory on it. So a software is the only way that I can wager on sports. It finds me mathematical edges. And then this all comes down to what you want to do. So in my opinion, this is the blueprint. If you're new to sports betting or you've only maybe signed up with one sports book, here's the blueprint. We're going to lay this out for you. Okay, this is what you want to do. Number one, well, you want to go to oddsjam.com for free. In the top right-hand corner, click into whatever state or country that you live in and find out all the sports books, all of them, where you live, find them all out. They're going to tell you all the promos for every book, what type of promo it is, what they're offering. Great. Now what you're going to do is power rank these sports books because we're going to sign up with all of them right off the hop. We're not going to start arbitrage betting or plus EV betting or putting together parlays or round robins, none of that shit. We're going to go and find every sports book that's available to us. We're going to power rank them and we're going to go after the lowest hanging fruit. So books like Caesars and BetMGM that offer these massive first-time sign-up bonuses, $1,000 or $1,250, we're going to save them for last. Okay, those are the big fish. You're going to go after the simple ones like the DraftKings, bet $5, get $100 or whatever it is in bonus bets. Like Bet365 has a bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Rebet, right, a social sports book, get 100% deposit match up to $100. That's easy cash. These are easy bankroll builders. But before we even start that, we're just going to power rank them all, find out what's what. Okay, now we have a list of what we're going to go after. Then we're going to sign up at oddsjam.com for the 1-week free trial. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. Then you're going to be able to go and attack all of these promos. Easiest cash by far you'll make. Promo conversions, first-time sign-up bonuses. It's no joke. Once you get through all of those sports books, that's when we can jump into arbitrage betting. Arbitrage, making risk-free cash. We're betting the over, we're betting the under, we're making guaranteed profit no matter what happens. These sports books are fake-ass friends. Kevin Hart and Jamie Foxx and Stephen A. Smith. Hey man, come to ESPN Bet. Have a great time at BetMGM. You're gonna make a boatload of cash and you see people in the casino drinking and smiling and laughing. They're fake because once you show the sports books that you know what you're doing, they don't want profitable sports bettors on their platform. That's a bad business model for them. They don't want that. So yeah, you're going to get limited if you make money sports betting. It doesn't matter. You can hear stories about Billy Walters in the casino back in the 80s playing whether it's Baccarat or roulette, and he's just running it up. And then all of a sudden the pit boss comes in and says, hey, time out, stop. You can't bet on this. We're not going to take any more bets on this roulette wheel. He's like, oh, why? That's the sportsbook's nature, guys. If you show them that you know what you're doing, if you show them that you can make money, which that's the whole name of the game with this. That's why we're in this arena in the first place. Bang, a couple clips, a couple swipes on the phone, tap here. Next thing you know, we're making cash. If you show them you know what you're doing, you're going to get limited. So if you're watching this and you want to get into sports betting, accept the fact that this is going to happen. But that's okay. The reason it's okay is because there's a ton of sports books out there and you can just have more. You have a ton of options. You really do. Don't let this get you discouraged. I'm limited on every sports book except for Caesars. And that's just probably because I haven't made enough money off them yet. And I can still get action down on all these different books. I've been going for 3 years. I'm going to be able to go for another 3 years. No problem. Don't let that discourage you. If you want to make money sports betting, my advice to you, software, some type of software. It's 2024. You got to have some type of software. It's just going to cut all the work out for you. Number two, with arbitrage betting, naturally, the more money that you have, the more that you can make. But don't get discouraged. If you start out with a small amount, $20, $25, $50, $100, you can do this. So there's hurdles that you have to clear, but trust me, the more that you dive into this, and if you're not lazy and you learn about top-down sports betting, you learn about arbitrage, it's profitable, it works. And so if you want to try to pay for touts to give you those picks, do they provide you any explanations? There's only one guy that I know that does that, and it's Calling Our Shot. He provides very detailed explanations. A lot of other guys, they just give you picks. They don't tell you the reasons why they like them because they don't know. They're shit sports bettors. So with top-down sports betting, it's a different ballgame, and that's where I want to get into right now with arbitrage and plus EV betting is, no offense to my arbitrage bettors, and that's how I started my first couple of months sports betting, made risk-free cash. Arbitrage betting is fantastic, but you don't lose. You don't lose with arbitrage betting. And so positive EV betting works, but I need you to understand that these two arenas are you're going from the minor leagues to the soft, cozy, making money every day, we don't lose, to positive EV betting, which you will win over the long term, but there's no guarantees, and you're going to have losing days, and you're going to have losing streaks. So the problem is you come, it's like going from elementary school to like going straight to high school. It's like, oh man, this is cool. And then boom, you're in the big leagues now. There's no guarantees with this. And so the expectations of people, that's another thing that like it's really difficult. It's hard to harness those expectations because you see everybody on Twitter making all these crazy kinds of money and their calendars are green. And you're like, dude, I got to get in this. And so you start out, but just understand going from arbitrage betting to positive EV betting is a big step. And that big step is understanding that you're not going to win every day. But if you do this over the course of the month, 6 months, a year, you're going to turn a profit. You're going to make money. And you should make more money than arbitrage betting because you're taking on more risk. You're finding plays that have an edge that compounds every day. But it boils down to you as a person and what you find out. So I would advise try positive EV betting, and you're really going to be able to learn a lot about yourself and your risk tolerance as a sports bettor. So top-down sports betting, what we preach and teach at OddsJam, works fantastic for all markets, but it works a lot better for mainline markets like money line, spreads, and over-unders. And the reason being is because those markets take on more liquidity, more money. So that's a better indicator for us because the books, we can find where the sharp sports bettors are coming in and snatching that value. Another thing when we're talking about this strategy, especially betting on the NFL, you have to change your mindset that you're not going to wager on the NFL 30 minutes before kickoff. You need to get in the mindset that you're going to be placing these bets on Tuesdays, maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, when lines open up. So what I mean by that is week 1 happens, you're watching the Sunday night or Monday night football game, lines are opening up for week 2's games. You need to hop on that value right there. When books first open up their markets and open up their lines, they have an idea, right? Their algorithms and their teams have an idea of where the line is, but we don't know. Then the sharps come in, spend a boatload of that cash on those markets. And then as we move towards kickoff for week 2, those lines get hammered, jackhammered in a little bit better. And we kind of know. I like to think of it maybe as like concrete, and you're tamping down that concrete. And then that thing hardens up. And by the time it gets to Sunday, there can be some edges, but the value's pretty much sucked dry. And you're just left with scraps on the table. So you got to get in this mindset when it comes to college football and NFL football not to be afraid of placing bets 3, 4, 5, 6 days in advance. For UFC fights, a week and a half in advance. Don't be afraid of that. You're going to find incredible value. That's becoming a sharp sports bettor. The problem with top-down sports betting in the player prop market is that it's profitable. It's just you're going to have more bumps in the road. Why? Because there's less liquidity in the market. So, I love to think of like Jonte Porter, who got banned in the NBA, like the bench player for the Raptors, Michael Porter's brother. Like if you're betting on his line, his over-under 3.5 rebounds, DraftKings and FanDuel, they're not going to take much action there. There's less money that comes into Jonte Porter's over-under on his rebounds market compared to the Celtics versus Knicks money line game. Now, within the player prop market, there's more liquidity devoted to the stars and the starting five and the top players. The LeBron James, the Jason Tatums. You can get more money down on their over on their points, but relative to the main markets, the money lines and the spreads and the over-unders, it's a lot less money. So it's a hard time to find out where the sharp money is coming into these player prop markets for us to understand, do we have a true edge here? So I believe that top-down sports betting works for player prop markets. It's just a lot, it's difficult. And if you can find people or find different sites with projections that you lean onto, that you latch onto, that you like a little bit more, I can see that being another way to find an edge in the market. And the last thing that I'll say is, outside of your expectations, when it comes to this approach, people, especially with player prop bets, are always going to be like, bro, look at the stats, bro. Like, just look at this. This guy he's hit his over on his points in his last 5 straight games. But what you have to truly embrace this mindset, you have to, is that sports are unpredictable. There's no guarantees. If they were predictable, this wouldn't be happening. How many, I can't tell you how many times, someone's asked me right before the game starts, like, hey man, did you bet on this game at all? And I'm like, oh yeah, I took this play. And they're like, oh, they're the underdog. They have no chance in this. And then like 5 minutes into the game, the underdog's up by like 10 points out the gate. And they're like, oh, that was a smart play. That was sharp. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because sports are unpredictable. You need to grasp that mindset. Your biases that you've been watching as a sports fan your whole life on your teams and players. I hate Dylan Brooks. Guy's a rat. I have a much harder time betting on Dylan Brooks or the Cleveland Browns, since I'm from Pittsburgh, betting on those two things than, maybe betting on like the San Francisco 49ers against the Seahawks, because I don't have a vested interest in either team. Those biases that you have built in as a sports fan through the years and decades of watching sports and just being a casual fan, you got to let go of that shit, because it's going to kill your gains. You got to look at this more as a business. This sports betting is a business. It's the stock market. It's a living, breathing market. And you know what? My Steelers aren't going to win every game this year, and the Browns are probably going to beat them. And if they don't beat them this year, they'll beat them next year in a game. Wouldn't I rather make money off of that? It's not fun. It's not fair. Or sometimes I'll just avoid it. I'll just avoid that game. But I know that I'm leaving opportunities out on the table. So these are just some of my honest opinions and reviews, guys, of sports betting. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not made for everybody. But for those of you that can stand the test and be battle tested, you can make awesome money. And for those of you that maybe don't want to get into the risk, trust me, arbitrage betting is a surefire way to make great money. It's an awesome way. You don't need to know anything about sports with arbitrage betting. You truly don't. You don't need to know anything about sports betting odds, how they work. All you need to know is that sign up with these sports books, make some easy cash. You're going to be, it really is easy. And if you don't mind, hey, like even if you're not a sports bettor or into sports, these sports books right now are offering these different promos that you can make in a couple easy $100,000 side cash, really nice side hustle. The last thing that I want to leave you guys with, when I was starting off trying to figure out odds jams, sitting in my couch in Arizona 3 years ago, I didn't have anyone to lean on. I didn't know who to reach out to, right? I didn't know if I could trust the process, if I could really trust. Do I know what they're saying? I don't know if I trust these guys. This sounds kind of good, but it was just like advertisements. It just took a lot of videos and a lot more volume and repetition for me to be like, you know what, let's try this out. Let's give it a go. And so what I don't want you to feel like is that you're alone in your sports betting journey. There's nothing that's going to drive me more insane outside of greedy sports books is that you feel that you're alone in your journey. Ask me questions. Link in the description is going to be my email. It's going to be my Twitter handle. DM me, ask me questions. Don't feel like, oh, I don't know. I'm watching this video, but I don't understand the way they're explaining this tool or this strategy or how the odds, like what is this guy talking about? Just ask me. Use me as a guide, a resource, right? This is why I kind of created this channel in the first place. I don't want you to feel that you're alone, because everyone in sports betting is all about just giving picks. F the picks, man. use me as an educational resource. If nothing else, I don't know it all, but I can at least learn with you and I can share with you my experience. And if nothing else, that's going to save you a boatload of time. It's going to save you cash and it's going to be free. I'm not going to charge you a dime and I'm going to respond to you. I really will. So make sure to use me as a guide. Guys, last thing I'll say at the end here, if you stuck around to the end of this video, it means so much to me if you would like and subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with other people, because this is just my experience in the last 3 years. And if nothing else, I really appreciate the support. And if you're trying to figure out, hey man, like all these sports books right here and these promos and these bonuses, like if you're not sure how to use it or what to do with these, then click this video right here. And it's going to walk you through the entire promo bonus setup. It's going to show you exactly how we're going to attack these books, what you're going to want to look out for. And once you get 1 or 2 of these under your belt, that's why I stress going after the low-hanging fruit, because then those are small bonuses. Once you get a few reps in, then you're gonna be like, okay, I understand how this works now. I get the strategy behind this, and now you can go after the big fish like Caesars and BetMGM.